Okay, so I am finally starting this vlog. It is 12:43 on Saturday, January 21st. And okay, plans for this. I feel like the lighting is weird, probably because of the windows. Hey, what are you gonna do, right? Anyways, so in this reading vlog, I'm finally gonna actually get into Defend the Dawn by Brigid Kemmerer. If you saw my last vlog, you saw that I started off that vlog with like getting all my annotation supplies ready to annotate this book, putting all my post-its in every 50 or so pages for my little like summaries. I read one page and then was like, I don't feel like reading right now, and then didn't pick it up again. And then I was like, oh, I should just like finish. So I was already reading These Fighting Delights by Chloe Gong, so I was just like, oh, I should just focus on this and finish it. And I did that in last week's vlog. Not last week's, but the last vlog, which it should be up right now. So I'll link it up here so you guys can check that out. Yes. So yeah, I'm finally gonna be getting into Defend the Dawn by Brigid Kemmerer. This is the second book in the Defy the Night trilogy, I think it is. So basically, if you don't know, Defy the Night is basically in this world they have there's this sickness going around like a plague, and I don't know why I laughed. And the only known cure for it is this moonflower petal. But the rich people in like the palace are hoarding it, and even though they don't need as much, they're hoarding it, and then the people who are poor and can't afford the moonflower petal, they are dying. So in comes Tessa and Wes, and basically they are stealing moonflower petals and distributing them out to people who can't afford them. And then things ensue from there. Yeah, things starts happening. There's royalty involved, and yeah, I really enjoyed the first book. Oh, I'll link, I vlogged when I read the first book, so I'll link it up here. And probably past Yari has a better synopsis. But yeah, I'll also put a link to like the Goodreads of Defy the Night, so you can read like a proper synopsis. But the other book I've been reading is The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armas. That pigeon, I can't. I'm currently on page 91, chapter 8. I started this, I don't remember when. It was sometime last year, maybe November, don't remember. November, don't remember. Anyways, I think it was like November. And then I put it down, and then the other night I read one chapter. So then I was like, oh, I guess I'm reading this again. So we'll see how much progress I make in this as well. But these are the plans. Also, I've read like the first like part of Sailor V volume 2. It's over there. I don't feel like getting it. So I might pick that up this week as well. Who knows? But yeah, I think this vlog will be from today to the end of January, because I think I'm doing 2 vlogs per month instead of like how I did it at the end of last year, where I was doing 1 vlog per month. No thank you. Anyways, yeah, those are the plans for the rest of January, and let's get to some reading. single. Hey, what's up? So, updates. It is Monday, January 23rd. It's 11:06 p.m. Okay, so let's do reading up. Okay, first of all, 1, ignore my hair. 2, new glasses. Anyways, reading update. So I've been reading Defend the Dawn by Brigid Kemmerer. I am currently on page 112, chapter 10, and I don't remember what my last update was on this, but first of all, 1, I want to know more about this outlaw person, which the next chapter I'm going to read is from their perspective. You only gotten 1 chapter from the outlaw so far, so don't know much about this person, so I'm interested to find out more. In terms of our main characters, Tessa and Korik, a lot of things are happening. Oh Jesus, a lot of things are happening. A lot of things are being kind of like revealed. It's hard to talk about this book. I feel like this is me like all my vlogs. It's hard to talk about this book because it's the 2nd book in a series, so yeah, this 2nd book in a series, so it's hard to talk about this without saying any kind of spoilers. But let's just talk feelings. I'm very interested in the plot, what's going on with the Moonflower and this new person that has arrived, and what has been revealed about what has happened in the past. And I'm excited to find out more about this new place, and yeah, just find out more about this new place. And I'm very intrigued to see how the plot progresses, character wise. Hey, so I'm editing this video right now, and I just want to say it's difficult to talk about this book, anything, without spoiling anything for the first book. So if you don't want any kind of spoilers, then click out of the video. What I say isn't like, I don't say any like really big spoilers. I don't believe I do. It's like minor things, but if you don't want to chance it, you haven't read the first book or the second, do not watch this. There's no spoilers for the second book. I talk pretty vague about it, but if you don't want any kind of spoilers for the first book, then even like minimal spoilers, do not watch this. You have been warned. I love Korik and Tessa together, but it's hard for them right now just because there's rebels and stuff. And she came from, if you read the first book, she came from like what is called the Wild, and Korik, oh shit, that's a spoiler. Okay, I'm just gonna say I love Tessa, I love Korik. Also, I love Korik and Quinn's friendship. Yeah, I can't talk about like the romance part of this book because if you haven't read the first book, it's a spoiler for the first book. And it's not just like who the relationship is between. It's hard, man. Okay. Yeah, I can't really say anything about like the romance. There isn't much for romance, but there's 2 people that have romantic, that have feelings for each other. Let's just say that, okay. But it's hard to talk about that without spoiling something for the first book. So I'll just leave it at that. I'm having a great time. I love the characters. I'm interested to see where the plot is gonna go. And yeah. So that's Defend the Dawn. When it comes to the American Roommate Experiments by Elena Armas, I stopped in the middle of a chapter last night because I was reading on my Kindle when I was like falling asleep. So it's top in the middle of a chapter. I'm on page 111. And hilarious. Am I on the same page on this, in this book? Pretty much. I'm on page 112 in Defend the Dawn, and I'm on page 111 in the American Roommate's Experiment. Well, I can't say roommate. I've only read a little bit, so can't say much, but I feel like it's cute so far. Excited to see how Rosie and Lucas's relationship is gonna go. I'm excited to see. I'm also excited to see like what Rosie comes up with, because she's writing a book. It's actually her like Elena Armas. This is Rosie's second book that she's writing, but Rosie is writing under a pen name because she writes, it's romance, but I can't remember what specific genre. Maybe be like period, I don't know. It falls in the romance category, so I'm actually excited to see, like, because right now she has writer's blocks. I'm actually excited to see like how she overcomes that, and how and what like her story is gonna be about, if it actually like tells us in this book what her book is about. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. I don't think I'm liking it as much as I was liking the Spanish Love Deception, but I am enjoying it. A romance is a romance is a romance. So yeah, that's my update. It's getting late. I work tomorrow, unfortunately. I would love to just stay home all day every day and read, but I need money, so it is what it is. Yep, it's 11:13 now, so that's the update I have. I'm gonna try my hardest to actually like read during the weekdays. I usually just mainly focus on reading on the weekends and Monday, because those are the days I have off, but I feel like I could get more done if I actually read during the weekdays. But it's hard for me because I don't like reading in the mornings, because I feel like my brain doesn't work in the morning. So I don't like reading in the mornings, and then when I get home from work I'm always like super tired, so I don't want to read. But I'm gonna see what I can do to change that, to fix that, so I could actually get more reading done during the week. So if you have any tips, actually let me know, because your girl needs help. So yeah, that's my update, and I'll catch you guys again when I have another update. Hey, what's up? So long time no update. It is Sunday, January 29th. It's 11:12 a.m. And I'm here to tell you that I finally finished The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armas. I finished this last night. Yeah, so I ended up giving this a 4 stars on Goodreads, but it's more like a 3.5-ish. Yeah, this it just took me a little while to like get into like start to get invested in like the characters. I don't want to compare it to the Spanish Love Deception, because there are different characters and whatever. But with the Spanish Love Deception, I don't know, I think I just read that book in a really good time, because I read it right after I finished a book I didn't like. So like the lightness of it was like really fun and really easy to get into, and I enjoyed the characters, whatever. But anyways, back to this. Yeah, it just took me a little bit to get into it, but I did eventually get into it. I did like both the characters, Lucas and Rosie, but I don't feel like there were characters that I was like really invested and connected to. Yeah, but overall I did enjoy their story, and I did enjoy some of the topics that this touched on. It was like towards the end that these topics were touched on, like they will touch on more at the end, which is just like anxiety, panic attacks, and just like social and just like mental health in general. It was touched on, but not like a lot. But it's always like good to see like people like to see mental health talked about in media in any form, and people actually, you know, like dealing with it, and yeah, coming to, I guess, like coming to terms with it, and seeking help. That's what I was looking for, seeking help for it, which I need to take a note of. I think the writing was fine. It wasn't anything like groundbreaking, but this was like just like a fun read. And yeah, I did eventually get a bit like interested in characters, and then there was something going on in like Rosie's family that I was like kind of interested in what was going on, but kind of not. I'm trying to be vague because obviously no spoilers. Oh, also there was like, going back to the writing, there was one line where I was just like, but I was like, okay, I'll look over it. Obviously I'm not gonna say what it is because spoilers. But yeah, there was one line where I was just like, Also, when it comes to Lucas, I can see how people would think that he was like into himself and like stuck up in a way, just because he will like, to me there were jokes where he would be like talk himself up and like say like, oh, like he's like saying like he was like hot, or like saying like things like he knows like he's like attractive or whatever. For me those were jokes, but I can see how for other people that might come off as him being like really into himself. But yeah, and like being one of those guys where they're just like, yeah, I know I'm hot or whatever. I don't think that's him. I honestly think those were jokes, and I felt like those were like jokes where like where he knew that Rosie knew that too, where I do think that he was a bit like, he is a bit confident in himself, but not to the extent where it's like ill, you know, like you're a bit too into yourself, you know. But yeah, I think when he made those like comments, it was more of a joke and a bit of, what's that called, a bit of I forgot the word I was looking for. But yeah, mainly I don't think he meant it. I don't think he's like, oh yeah, I'm hot, whatever. I think they were jokes, kind of like teasing Rosie. But again, I can see how people can think that he was just like really into himself. I also did like seeing like Rosie and like her overcoming her writer's block, and I also think she was kind of had a bit of imposter syndrome, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why she was finding it hard to write her second book. It's not really talked about in the book, but I feel like she had a bit of imposter syndrome. I could be wrong, but that's a vibe that I got. Also, I read the acknowledgements that Elena Armas wrote, obviously because it's her book, and she did say that that this book was a little bit more emotional and a lot more personal, and I could obviously see the influences of Elena's own personal life that was included in this book, just like in general, like very surface level, like Rosie and Elena having a lot in common, them both, this being Elena's second book, and Rosie is currently in this book writing her second book. So yeah, I could see the similarities of Elena's own life in this book. Also, I was kind of hoping this would happen because I read the acknowledgements in the Spanish Love Deception, and there was a Friends quote, a Joy quote from Friends in the acknowledgements in the Spanish love submission. So I was like, I kind of hope she does it again, but she writes a friend's quote and she did do it again. So it just says, and it was part of her thank you to the reader. So she says, I also hope that if, like Rosie or Lucas, you feel lost or stuck, you don't ever stop pushing forward. I mean, come on, like Joy would say, you can't give up. Is that what a dinosaur would do? So yeah. Yeah, and also with Lucas, I don't know what happened to lighting. Anyways, with Lucas, he was going through a lot, and he was dealing with that internally alone, and he literally wasn't telling anyone what was happening. Like, the reader kind of knew at the beginning what was happening, but we didn't have the whole story. Eventually we did, but yeah, for pretty much the entire book he's been dealing with this, and prior to like the start of the book he's been dealing with this and dealing with it alone. Yeah. And then Rosie, yeah, you know, she's been dealing with her whole writing and what I feel was, like I said, imposter syndrome, and not really having the confidence in herself that that she could write the second book and that it could do as well as her first book. I think that's all I'm gonna say for right now. Again, this clip is 12 minutes long. Why? I'm gonna continue this vlog until tomorrow, or like actually the end of the month, whatever. But I'm gonna, a little later on, I'm gonna continue reading Defend the Dawn by Brigid Kemmerer. I'm currently on page 120. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna hop into in a little bit. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again later because this clip is almost 13 minutes long. Hey, so I have an update. It's Monday, January 30th. It's 10:37 p.m. and I've been reading for a good part of the day. Today finally got into like a good reading mood. And I've been reading Defend the Dawn by Brigid Kemmerer. I'm now officially 50% in. I'm on page 256, chapter 22. So far, I'm really enjoying this. I will say the pace is a little bit slow, but I don't mind it. I think it's just because, well, first off, this is like the second book in a trilogy, and some of the characters I already know, and I like the characters, so I don't mind the slower pacing. And there are newer characters that were introduced in this book. I'm getting to know more about them, and it's actually like very interesting because I feel like usually in like fantasies you usually know who the villain is. In this, I'm like, I don't know who I'm supposed to be rooting against, because because there's like, okay, so like there's a lot of people that don't trust each other. We have one of the leaders of the rebels, Lachlan, then we have Prince Korik, and then we have this captain, the ship captain. I'm just gonna say that because I don't want to spoil anything. So we have these three characters that they all have valid points, but they all don't trust each other. So I'm like I don't know who to like side with. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know who to side with. And then I also feel really bad for Korik because people only see him as like his nickname, which is Cruel Korik, and he doesn't want people to like just see him as that. But at the same time, I'm like, you haven't really done anything to prove that you aren't that. There is one thing that there is something that he has done that it's like, okay, yes, but the only person that knows the truth is Tessa. So like the rebels don't know that he did this thing, which is actually a good thing. I'm pretty sure that the rebels don't know, and obviously, and the captain definitely doesn't know that he did this. So yeah, but he doesn't want people to see him as Cruel Korik, and then everyone is making Tessa second thing Korik as well, because at first she's like completely on his side, and then now she's just like, I mean, they do bring up some valid points, but like right away she is like, she's questioning Korik, and she's like is he a good person? And then he said this, I think I'll read this one line because I was like and I feel like he just really doesn't know, Korik doesn't know what to do. And I do feel like there is good in him, but like nobody sees it. Okay, so the line was, I know people expect the worst of me, he says quietly. I didn't realize you were among them. And he was talking to Tessa when he said that. And I'm like, I also want to see the good in you, Korik. And I do think it's there, but he needs to put, like actually show people that that there is good in him. But I feel like he finds that difficult because he's been in this role of Cruel Korik for so long that he doesn't know how to, and he doesn't trust people. And it's fair because there are things that happened in his past that made him this way, that he doesn't trust people, including the king doesn't trust people. Also, I found out who the outlaw is, and I think it's gonna get interesting because there was just like this little meeting in the woods, and the outlaw was there, and we found out things. So things are gonna get like crazy. I can feel it. Yeah. So yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. I'm also, this is Brigid Kemmerer's writing, just so easy to like get into. So that's one of the things that I love about her books. It's just like so easy to just like get into and fall into a world. And yeah, but yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm excited to read more of this. I'm going to bed soon, so I need to stop reading, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this book ends because I heard that it gets intense and people are like, where's book 3? So I'm excited. Hey, so I'm editing again, and the release date for book 3 has been announced. It's January 2024. How am I supposed to wait until January 2024? Explain that to me, because I don't know. Yeah, so that's the update I have for right now, and I'll talk to you guys again. Don't know when. Hey, what's up? So I wanted to finally wrap up this vlog because I finally finished Defend the Dawn by Brigid Kemmerer, the second book in the By the Night series. So what did I give it? I think I gave this 4 stars on Goodreads. I really enjoyed it. There's so much happened at the end, like everything was just like happening all at once. Okay, I think there's 2 things I want to say. One, I was getting freaking sick and tired of the way that these 2 men were disrespecting Tessa, and I'm like, can you not? Can you not? It was so annoying. Like literally every time it happened, I'm like this again. I don't want to say what it was because spoilers, but yeah, it was pissing me off. I'm like, they need to stop disrespecting Tessa and acting like she doesn't have a mind of her own and that she can't, like, what you call it, that she can make up her own mind about like a person. Like, just because you hate this person doesn't mean that she like doesn't like know this person and understand them. And you could hate them all you want, but like don't disrespect Tessa just because you don't like this person, and then question her like intelligence and her ability to like decide whether she wants to associate with a person. Just because you only know like one side of this person, it doesn't mean that Tessa doesn't see a different side of them. And that, yeah, those just pissed me off. Like, they were just like saying like really rude things. Like, literally, you can like not like a person, but like you don't have to like insult somebody that actually like likes this person you hate. You know. Also, there was this one line that was said like towards the beginning of the book, like right when they are getting on the ship to go to Austenary. Something I said, and I was like, oh great, I already know this is gonna happen, and it happened. And I was like, see, I knew it, right? Like once that was like said, I was like something bad's gonna happen. I know it, and it did. And I'm like, why did that have to happen? But yeah, I'm super excited to see like what happens in the next book, and see like what other secrets are revealed, because a lot was revealed in this book, and we just like scratched the surface of certain things. So I'm really excited to see like in the next book what else we learn about the Moonflower and the what do they call the advisors, and the different consoles that are in this world. And we're starting to get POV from a different character, and being in their point of view, being in their POV. I'm excited to see like this new like relationship brewing. I don't know if it's actually gonna happen, but I feel like something is happening. I'm not gonna say between who, but I'm excited. And I'm also excited to see like Tessa and Corey's relationship further. And yeah, so I think that's all I have to say. Again, 4 stars. So much happened at the end. People need to stop disrespecting Tessa. She has a mind of her own. She can make her own decisions. Like, leave her alone. Don't disrespect her. And excited to see what goes on in the next book. And Brigid Kemmerer made like a little like reel about like people asking her, when's book 3 coming, and she's like, monumental, which is like a phrase in the book. So yeah, I love that. So I don't know when book 3 is gonna come out. When it does come out, I'm ready and I'm excited for it. So yeah, that's it for this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up so I can know what kind of video I should post on here. And I will link my social media links down below. And if you haven't already, you will like, no pressure, you can subscribe to become a member of a little family here on Yari Hearts Books. And I'll catch you guys here next time. Bye.